Hey guys, Dave from Nerdarchy, 4 Nerds by Nerds, hanging out with these nerds.
Hey,
And we're doing our live chat. And intern Kyle is somewhere. We're not sure where. And we are running a little behind now. So now we're all screwed up and we got to like figure out where the chat is. We're lost. We're lost without intern Kyle.
How do I use the internet? I've forgotten.
Well, it was a near thing. I didn't actually have internet earlier today. So I'm like, oh, this is going to be a problem.
This could be problematic.
And you almost went to the hospital yesterday. No internet today.
Yeah.
That's like the nerd apocalypse.
So what's worse though? Almost going to the hospital or no internet?
Well, I think you guys
You have internet at the hospital.
I think you guys would say not having internet because then we couldn't hang out with our awesome fans without that.
That's
nothing to hear here.
well, on the plus side, apparently we're at least actually broadcasting.
Yes.
That's always good.
The check has been made.
So for those of you out there who were, possibly questioning why on earth was Ted going to the hospital, or almost.
No, we're already over that.
Okay, never mind.
Move along. Nothing to see here.
I went out to mow the lawn, and the heat of the day pressurized the gas canister, and I went to fill the lawnmower, and it totally all exploded in my face.
So you should always have minions for these things.
Exploded without fire.
Into my face. It was lots of tasty and burny, and had I not been wearing my trusty Nerdarchy glasses, I'd have gas in my eyes, and I'd be going to the hospital.
Oh, our intern Kyle's still at home. That would be a problem. I don't know, intern Kyle. Is that because Ted didn't share the information with you? Because he says he did.
I shared it with him last week that this week would be 11:30 for him.
Oh. I don't know. You're fired. Happens. So today's kind of a nerd holiday, right?
It is International Tabletop Day, right?
It is. So what games will we be playing today?
Well, today,
I think we have Quidditch going on, right?
There will be Quidditch on my front
lawn. Is it really a table? That's not really a tabletop game.
It's not a tabletop game.
If you put it on your front lawn, I don't think it's a tabletop game.
What if we say we're controlling the kids that are playing the game? Those are our pieces. Will that count? And the lawn?
I think you have to actually move them to count. Like, you physically move them. Which, I mean, if they're all the size of your son, it'll be pretty easy.
Yeah.
But, hey, good morning, guys. Good morning, Megan. Although it's not really morning anymore.
Well, for them it is.
We've gone over for the morning in Ohio.
Yeah, aren't they?
No, Ohio. I think that we're still in the same we're still in the same time zone.
Yeah, but legitimately, it's like would be like 11:50 there or something. So it's not noon yet.
Why would it be 11:50?
Like if you were actually doing the sun thing and you section it off into like minutes.
Oh my God! I'll fucking murder you right here on the live broadcast, Nate.
Nate's trying to science it.
Swear to God, I will kill you.
I think Dave missed his morning coffee this morning. So.
Kyle, bring coffee. I want to live. Stat.
Now the computer's all the way over there. We can't see how many people are on the chat with us. Oh, I feel so crippled. I don't know if my phone. I don't know.
There's at least 10 because 10 people have still talking in the chat. I think.
Yeah, I don't think my phone will tell me how many people are watching.
No,
it's a piece of junk.
So what did we label today's live chat as?
Sneak attack. Because so we always come up with these try and come up with catchy names, but I'm not that smart, so they're probably not that catchy. But
well, referencing D&D, but also referencing
something that's going on in Nerdarchy. Yeah, and since we changed the time on you guys last minute, I figured that was like a sneak attack.
Yeah.
It's Ted and his kid's fault. But I think we might have mentioned, I guess we mentioned that the time was changing last week, but we probably didn't say exactly when it was changing to.
Well, unfortunately, my child has turned 9 and he's having his birthday party. Certain agencies have highly frown on that kind of reaction.
Stopping their birthday?
Yeah.
You can stop their birthday. I don't think there's anything to celebrate a birthday.
Well, you have to stop them from growing. It's all kind of
body binding.
Just never celebrate the birthday again.
Yeah. So we're having his party.
You're still 9.
Having his party at 2:00 today. So therefore, I can't very well be at a birthday party and be here hanging out with you guys at the same time.
And we didn't want to give just Dave and I giving the con feel. Some kind of like Ronald McDonald convention.
No, actually, I didn't want to subject you guys to the herd of elephants that would be running above our heads.
It's the con feel.
Yeah, or run by the camera. Although I'm looking at all the equipment set up, and that would probably be ugly. I would just see things. It would look like dominoes, big dominoes. You guys wouldn't actually. Well, you might see the camera go over. You see us go sideways.
So yeah, we're doing a Harry
Oh wait a
Potter.
minute! Somebody's. Oh, happy birthday to your son. Someone said happy birthday. You can't interact with Ted's son.
DSDJKK. We are taking questions, just so you know. We have our phones.
Yeah,
we always do
We
questions.
have our apparatus.
Yeah, we always have the live chat up. We don't always get to all the questions or any of the questions. It depends. Like, I feel like probably one of the complaints is during the daily live chats is we don't take enough questions. But sometimes I just like to let the person talk that I have on. Other times it's just hard to pay attention to them and the chat at the same time.
Well, yeah, because they're not. You want to kind of have a conversation like we do normally, but
Yeah.
you don't want to just like you're a guest vending machine. I'm going to put in a question. You're going to give me an answer.
Oh yeah. Although Will was a beast from Encounter Roleplay. He was like talking to me, having a conversation, and responding to people in the chat. But yeah,
Well, they do Twitch, don't
Yeah,
they?
yeah, he's a pro- he's a pro Twitcher.
Yeah, he's pro there.
dude, they do 6 hours a day on Twitch for their Twitch channel. Now, I think he's got like a bunch of people involved, and then they try and stream for 24 hours at least once a month.
That's pretty hardcore.
It is
Yeah,
hard. I'm like, I would need a bucket under my desk or something. But yeah, so that was really cool, and he was, he's over in the UK, and we actually like encountered them. Well, I encountered them through Open Legend. Brian Feaster, they've run a bunch of games for them, and Sydney, Will's girlfriend, runs Brian's social media, I believe.
Oh, nice.
So yeah, it's good stuff. Good stuff.
So we got the our first live play of Open Legend yesterday. It was a little taste. We all got a little bit of a die roll going.
Yeah, I thought it was cool. I mean, I almost wiped half the party in the intro session.
40%.
So,
Player, you can't, player agency if they want to get themselves killed off.
So, and we're talking about a game where it's really hard to actually die in it because, like, narratively, you have to die narratively more so than mechanically in that game. And Ty Johnson's like,
oh yeah, I'm just gonna stay here and die.
hold my beer, I got this.
and Comic Book University Bill, he's like, oh yeah, I'm that severe psychic entity that's out there flying, that's as big as our ship.
The Cthulhu monster.
I'm gonna open my mind to it.
Now, I said in the comments he should use the rule of cool when selecting his power because he didn't know what to do. I didn't think that was. I mean, I think you should put some claims on that. Like, yeah, maybe not open to Cthulian horror.
So I was just like, all right, dude. And then when Dave rolled the damage, as he had said on the game, the dice just kept exploding, and it's like, he did more than double the amount of hit points that I had, and I'm like, yeah, I'd be off in the corner sucking my thumb, like, oh god. Mommy.
Well, he was on the floor bleeding. I mean, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah. Now, what was
His brains became.
I haven't played too much with Ty, but was he channeling Scott Garbe when he looped on the monster, or
Maybe,
or is that like his play style for that particular character?
I think it was for that particular character.
We'll have to see.
Yeah.
In future episodes.
Like that'll be the thing. Every episode, Ty nearly dying, self-inflicted. We'll see. So we do DJKK question. Have you guys tried Microscope RPG to make the worlds you play in? I don't know what Microscope RPG is.
I'm not familiar with it.
So I would say no, we have not.
It sounds neat just because it has I'm already interested.
Nate's a big science nerd, so he's like, all right, I'm gonna go check this out today.
Yeah. And the Voya, thanks. I appreciate it, buddy. I know you're actually there for a lot, if not all, of the live chats, which I greatly appreciate you guys that hang out with us. And I do, so you guys know, I do take Patreon questions first. So like I try to post up the day before who's going to be on, and you guys watch your messages from Patreon because I'll be posting up Satine Phoenix because she'll be here Monday, so you guys can ask her questions.
So who else do we have going on for the week?
All right, well, we have a list.
So Satine Phoenix on Monday.
We have a list. Tuesday is going to be Dungeon Life. Wednesday, back from recovery, is DM Scotty. That took a little bit of schedule juggling.
His bionic eyes are complete.
Thursday is going to be Hal Greenberg from The Awakened 2 and Samurai Sheepdog. And we're also gonna, try and see if we can ramshackle Ty, who's also part of this project.
Yeah, Ty he's totally sneak attacked me. So apparently, like, there's some big names on this. Lee Breyer. It's like Lee Evans Bryers or Richards Breyer or something. Richards Breyer Evans or something like that. I'm totally butchering. I'm sorry.
Wins bread.
No, I looked at it. No, but he was a writer for he's done writing for Wizards of the Coast. Ed Greenwood was on there.
Yep.
Clinton Boomer's on there.
Yep.
And then I'm like, wait a minute, Ty Johnson.
We know that guy.
Yeah, because we had thrown out there, hey, is there some people you guys think we should talk to? Ty's like, hey, there's this guy, you should talk to him. And I didn't know that Ty was working on the same project. I mean, you could have just had Ty on too, but.
So that's that. And then, of course, Friday is going to be session 2 of the Open Legend sponsored Open Legend RPG game.
And
in Zatania, what's the name of the world that we all?
Zonterra. Something like that. I've got it written down.
and speaking of our writers, some of our writers for Tabletop Day made a adventure.
Arbor Jade.
And we get a drop. Do we have a link in the bottom of the?
No, because it is actually like it went out a couple of weeks ago, so it was in the description a couple of weeks ago.
Oh, okay, all right.
It was actually released early, so this way, if they wanted to download it and play it for Tabletop Day, they would have it already.
Right. So if you go to nerdarchy.com, you go to the search bar, you can look for Arbor Jade, and you can grab that module there, totally free. Enjoy.
Don't mind me. I'm
And we have
commenting.
So while that's going on, Dave mentioned a couple different things. Mentioned the Patreon. For those of you out there who are our patrons, thank you so much. We couldn't do what we do without the awesome people like you. And we're getting close to the end of the month, so now is your time. If you should desire to become a supporter, we can talk about the things that we are going to be giving out as digital rewards. We usually send them somewhere between the 5th and the 10th, depending upon when everything clears and everything is finalized. That's not correct.
Okay, Mage Forge I renamed it the Gambler's Gambit.
Okay,
that was pretty cool because you can actually gamble it.
Okay,
in part of the power.
All right, so the Mage Forge is the Gambler's Gambit.
Hope you don't mind, Doug.
The Monster Menagerie is the Arachnomancer. Some of you might have seen this version kind of played in my game if you'd watched my session a while back. The Friender Foe is an assassin in spider silk armor. The Terrible Terrain is a space opera. And the Lost Lore is a whole section of spider-themed spells. So if you want to get access to those,
become a patron. And we're also doing they're going to be making some proprietary charts that you're going to be able to find on Nerdarchy, or you can go check out chartopia.com, where basically it's an engine for building all kinds of randomness into your game, and they have charts for it. So we're working with them, and we're going to be doing some things with them, and we're going to have some private stuff just for the patrons over there. And there's certain things too, like the Chartopia, and getting your questions to the front of the line when it comes to our guests, stuff like that. Like that doesn't matter, even for like $1 a month, you can qualify for that stuff.
I was about to ask you.
As well as you also get a free entry into our giveaway, as well as an additional entry into our monthly gameplays with the fans. So if you're already part of the newsletter, the patronage gives you a second entry into that. So, okay, and also I just want to address stuff. DSDJKK was asking about Scott Garbe, because we haven't had him on in a while. He was on not too long ago, but you just didn't get to see his smiling face. And he did the flip through for the Cypher System Expanded Worlds with us. So I asked him to sit in on that, because I know he's such a huge fan of Monty Cook and that system. So you can hear his voice, and he actually does a lot of the voiceover throughout that. So you can see him there. As someone else already pointed out, he's actually pretty active in a lot of our live chats we do during the week. It's like falls during his lunch break, so he's able to jump in for like most of it, half of it or so. So that's cool. And if you're following on the stuff we do on the website, he puts out at least an article a week generally. So we have Scott Garbe around, as well as he always runs a game for us. As a matter of fact, this weekend
his Gamma Roll game went up, and oh my God, the amount of cameos from the 80s in that game was ridiculous.
It was pretty crazy.
Yeah, he did some really crazy stuff, and he's like, I can't believe you guys went that way with him. I'm like, come on, dude. Just saying, at some point it is Star Trek versus Thundercats. Do you need any more?
Come on. Which team would you back?
Yeah, that is a good question. Which team would you guys back?
So we always ask, it's tabletop day, what kind of games are happening. So we do not actually have a game going on tonight, but Dave will be running his game tomorrow.
Yes. Yeah, so I've kind of bookended Tabletop Day. We're not actually doing anything on Tabletop Day.
I actually will be participating in a off-camera Star Wars Fantasy Flight game. If you watch our Gamma World games, Mike from that game is going to be running Star Wars. It's kind of his bread and butter. So I get to get back into Star Wars. I'm kind of happy about that.
Oh, yeah, and also in the chat, it was pointed out Scott Garbe does have his own YouTube channel. So if you just search out Scott Garbe on YouTube, he should come up, and you guys can find him and check out his stuff over there.
He's not as prolific as us with videos, but he does put out a lot. And when he gets onto a topic, he runs with it.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, you got to check out his Batman versus the Hulk. So you can just go rip it and tell me how wrong he is.
So I mentioned the giveaway. We'll be announcing our monthly giveaway next week, our winner. So look forward to that.
Winner, chicken dinner.
So any other questions in the chat?
Yeah, Adam, I'm working on some cave/dungeon maps that we use a projector to view the map on the table. What do you guys use to set up fog of war for unexplored areas of dungeons? I've done it where I've just either, if I'm drawing the map as we go, I'll just not draw that part of the map until they see it, or if I'm using terrain, I'll just not put the terrain up. So it's kind of like I consider what's line of sight for people, and then I put it there. Or I've just been lazy and put the entire dungeon up before and been like, yep, that's what it is.
Yeah,
you guys have a map.
Yeah. We do a lot more theater of mind than anything else, and we do theater of mind until the actual fight breaks out and initiative gets dropped. Then we put it on the board just so people can see what's going on. And that's kind of the way we've done it since like the very beginning, really. Yeah. I mean,
every once in a while we've done some stuff that breaks away from that norm, but for the most part, 80-90+% of the time, it's just that. It's theater of the mind. Once combat ensues, here's your room that you're in now. What do you do?
Yeah. And there are some suggestions he's getting in the chat already. Not surprised. And then to me, like what comes to mind is just slapping pieces of paper around everything they haven't seen yet and kind of like jockeying them around.
Of course they're going to get good advice. We got awesome fans out there.
Well, that is true.
Yeah, but I would use something super opaque like black construction paper if it's going to be on a projector. And then just have different pieces maybe taped down if you know kind of what they're going to do.
So, heavy armored mage question. Ever try a D&D campaign where the players start or grow their own town or faction in the world that changes depending on roles and story conflicts and some behind-the-scenes DMing? Yes, sort of, kind of, and yes. So basically, even our Gryffindor game is the town started off much smaller when we first started it. And as we've been playing, the players have gotten far more involved in it, and the town has expanded naturally. Then there's other things going on, and the fact that there's the other weird dynamic of both me and Ted are running games out of that, and I'm running, I'm
running
multiple games out of that. So different things keep happening and popping up, and so even the DMs never even know what's going on there. As other DMs kind of change things, move the pieces around, players do different things. Like there's going to be a bathhouse in Gryffindor at some point that wasn't there before because the Scarlet Sisterhood once went as their base of operation. They're kind of like torn between an underground wizard's tower and a bathhouse. So
why not both?
Well, I think that was the possible compromise, but the problem was that they feel like the wizard feels like the underground wizard, the inverse wizard tower should be outside of town because if you're blowing things up, you shouldn't do it inside of town. And the other players are like, well, if we have a bathhouse, how are people going to come to it if it's outside of town? So
Bathhouse on top,
All right. So
and then the
what-
introvert is what it could be called.
what I'm reading into this is he is either being really generous with the gold drops in that game to allow them to purchase purchase buildings, or he's like, all right, well, I'm just going to discount this because this is an awesome idea. Because I've looked at the prices for purchasing buildings and stuff, and I'm like, there's no way I ain't got
I've
anywhere.
looked at the prices of purchasing Bathhouse, and they're not even close.
So I'm like, all right, this stuff that I would like to do is rally on them. I ain't got the funds for that, especially with having to keep resurrecting people.
People got to pay. You need some kind of exchange here. They're coming back to life.
Yeah, I got some free food in a gift basket or something like that.
That is insufficient.
I'm like, I saved
My
your
elven
life.
merchant heart is weeping.
I actually
Rallian is no Agnetha Armbreaker, okay?
who?
Agnetha Armbreaker.
Oh, I don't know who that is.
That's the Scarlet Sister.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's the
Yeah.
barbarian.
No, well, yeah.
And then the bard is spreading the rumor that she broke an ogre's arm in an arm wrestling match.
That was a good when I found that out. The rumors that's good rumor spreading.
Yeah. She's got a bunch of them going on.
Yeah, so there's like a permanent grove with a mystic tree outside of Griffin Gaff now, and that wasn't there before.
Yes, it was. That was the tree. That's the tree with found leaf blade.
Well, no. He's saying that happened.
That happened in his
because-
age.
Yeah. Okay.
And we had a paladin and agents and myself and the druid. We had with the help of the mayor, we did the whole kind of warder group.
And you
and
kind
the
of started an
lodges.
organization. You started the hunting lodge, which is kind of being used for like fops to come hang out in pseudo camp. But that's also
glamping.
yeah, and that's also where the spirit of found leaf blade presides. And then now it's been infested by a couple dozen pixies.
Yeah, you dropped a portal to a whole bunch of dragonborn.
To the dragon realm.
I mean that happened in session 1 in Dave's game. That portal just kind of became solidified, or what is it, permanent.
So
Stable.
Staff Writer Megan's like, we're going to have to come up with some money making schemes. Definitely, I've got this on the brain.
I heard there's some good material you can sell. It just turns people into something else. But you can make profit while they're still human.
They become the drug dealers.
Very lucrative when you don't have a pesky adventurer sticking their nose where it doesn't belong.
It's funny. Oh, so one of the things too that Doug brought up, and it kind of came up in the Taking 20 interview, live chat, whatever you want to call these things. I don't feel like they're interviews. I just kind of hang out with people.
They're
on
chats.
Live
And,
chats.
like people ask me too. They're like, before I have them on, they're like, "So is our topic? Do we have something to talk about?" Like, don't worry about it. Like, you get a couple of nerds talking. I don't think it's an issue.
I mean, if they want to bring up the newest project or something like that, that's cool.
We're gonna nerd out and do what nerds do.
Yeah, exactly. But so on that one, that stream, we talked about, I guess towards the end, a Starfinder game that's kind of being put together in conjunction with Paizo. So they're going to send us a GM, and it's going to be Nerdarchy, Web DM, Taking 20, and Encounter Roleplay. And the idea is that we run the game on Twitch, and then it gets sent over to the Web DM channel. So a bunch of people will hopefully get to watch and see this game. And it should be a lot of fun. And so there's been a little bit of a hiccup, a little bit of a bone of contention, because I call it dibs on the rat dude. But apparently they said that because Cody from Taking 20 actually put this thing together, which is really cool. But apparently they seem to think that the guy that put it together should be able to call dibs first. I'm like, that's what happens when you get people from Jersey involved. They just come in, they take over, they do what they want. Soprano State, man. Big fishing custom tackle, liquor and yard work, and Nerdarchy apparently. Woohoo!
Liquor, yard work, and a live chat. That can't go horribly wrong.
Yeah, it makes sense, but I never checked out your channel, Big Fishing. You have a channel. You have a channel, or are you just starting a channel for fishing stuff? Because really, I'm not much of a fisher person. I do most of my fishing at like ShopRite.
My father-in-law.
I'm really good at it too.
My father-in-law and brother-in-law are really into fishing. I could send them your way.
Yeah. Okay. So I think it sounds like he's just getting He's just getting started, or he had one a few years ago. I'm not sure which, but cool.
So have we reached the aforementioned time
Of what?
roll call?
Oh yeah, we can. I can't see, so it doesn't matter. Like generally, I wait and see where the numbers are, and be like, all right, is it time? But that's all the way over there. Kyle, how many people are watching? you guys can tell us because it'll show for you guys. It just doesn't show for us because the computer's all the way over there, and I got old eyes.
It's like, I don't know, 8 feet tops.
Yeah, well, 8 feet with the lights on us. It's so bright. But we're starting the roll call. We got Fragginator 1369 Washington State. Big Fish and Tackle. Oh, I got over 60 videos. Oh, yeah, you're legit, man. You got a lot of videos over there. Cool. We got Florida in the house, Fort Myers. Check my shit out. But I'm not really into fishing. I don't know. If anyone gets slapped in the face with a fish, I'm in. Like, that used to be my son's biggest thing for a long time. We'd go to the grocery store. And like, I want to buy a fish and slap somebody in the face. I don't know why that was his thing. We got 40 people watching. Yeah.
Budapest hungry.
Yeah, Budapest in the house. Nice. Fresno. Stevens Point, Wisconsin. Have you ever seen that show, 1,000 Ways to Die? Is it 1,000 Ways to Die or something like that? It was like, what the hell channel was that on? But they would always like have all these messed up ways people have died. And one of them was this chick was fishing, and she when she whipped it out of the water, the fish got lodged in her throat and she choked to death.
Wow.
Right? So fishing, very dangerous, apparently. Don't screw it up. We're definitely going to screw it up, whatever it is. You just can count on it. Washington mofos, Kentucky in the house. We got PA. Swordfish Puffer. So I guess we're going back to that. San Francisco, Oklahoma, Georgia, Corpus Christi, UK, nice, Indiana, Orange County, South California. Fishing, deadliest sport. Sharks, my greatest fear.
Well, the Alaskan crab fishermen were, for a long time, that was considered the deadliest job.
Yeah.
So,
are you saying it's not anymore? Did it get downgraded?
It did. I don't remember what replaced it, but my wife
YouTubing.
Statistics.
my wife is obsessed with that show, so it's it's one of those things. Like, she decides to fill me in on that information.
Melbourne in the house, Australia. We definitely got to hit Australia when we do the world tour. It's on my list.
We just have to map out where where everybody's going to let us crash.
Ventura, California. Yeah, we're just gonna show up, man. I don't think we should just show up places. Like, oh, we're like, we'll have meetups, right? And we'll like play D&D, right? And they show up, and then we'll like follow them to the parking lot. See who has the nicest car, and then we just follow them home and be like, we're crashing.
That's trade secret. Don't reveal that.
Ohio, Georgia. I think we. Oh man. Sorry guys, I'm getting distracted by the chat. What are you asking? How do you find a game that will work with work in college? I don't know. Like, there's a lot of like. I'm trying to look, man. I can't English that. I can't English regular English.
Well, if it's how do you fit in a game when you're doing work and college? That's really rough.
How do you find a game that will work with work and college when you do not have friends? I have tried, but it's hard to find games for new players with spelling problems.
Yeah, there's a lot of spelling problems in there. I'm horrible at spelling.
All right, so when you've got a job and you've got college or schooling of some sort, you do have to try and find. It becomes harder to try and find something that's going to work. So I know in the NAG and the Tabletop One Shop group, they play a lot of games that are pickup. So I would look into those kind of things, and it might not be a steady campaign, but you can at least get some gaming in, and something is better than nothing.
And as for spelling problems, I use Grammarly, and it works really well.
You can also check out Roll20 and Fantasy Grounds as well. There's games going on there. So there's definitely places you can find pickup games, or you can use meetups or something like that. And like, you just might be in a junction in your life where your gaming is going to be just pickup games, and you're going to probably just have to be okay with that.
And depending on the college, I mean, they've got to have some kind of like, I mean, even if they're playing BattleTech or something, somebody's got to be just something nerdy, you know. So maybe you can kind of find people that do that kind of stuff, and then some of them may also play. So it's like, you know, a lot of times. I mean, when we were doing Necromunda, we also still played D&D. When we were doing 40K, we were still playing D&D. So,
so we have a place to crash in Melbourne, but we have to survive the wildlife on our own. That doesn't sound particularly good.
Depends upon the
is this
wildlife.
place to crash is a yurt?
I got a scorpion in my boot. Where's Ryan? Ryan is doing his own thing. We announced that a couple of weeks ago. He's got his own channel now, Dream Syndicate.
Yes,
something.
Ryan is no longer attached to Nerdarchy.
Yeah, he's doing his own thing. You guys can go find him. He appears in some of the chats every once in a while, so you will probably see him there. And I don't think it was last week, but I think it was the week before where we actually put the link to his channel in there. And you know what? So somebody in the chat right now is probably literally a subscriber to his channel that isn't going to be doing anything until like November, December, I think he was saying. But guys, can you drop the link or whatever so that
others can see it?
Yes, that's exactly it. So Staff Writer Doug says logging is the most dangerous occupation right now. Yeah, I felt like road construction was pretty dangerous myself.
I felt like road construction was pretty dangerous.
I've never had a problem logging into any of the many different sites I've used, so I don't understand how that's dangerous.
That was so bad.
It's not about how good the pun is. It's about how quick the pun comes out.
Ben, I'm free right now. Is he trying to get a game going right now? Only in Jersey, man. This is only the tip of the iceberg. Oh my God! Oh, that's perfect. Yeah, Friginator 1369. Come to Washington. My whole upstairs can be yours for the low price of running Tomb of Horrors. Not a typo. I think there's a game for that. It's like Alpha Blue or something like that. It's more of a sci-fi game, but I think that would fit right along in with it. Shout out from the UK. All right, we love the UK. We had a guest on from the UK the other. Actually, I think this past week, I think we've had 2 guests on from the UK because we had Nord Games and Chris's partners, Ralph and Lou. They are from the UK. Although me and Chris don't really let them talk very much. And then take that, you limeys. And then we had Will on from Encounter Roleplay, which was really cool as well. Nice. But he's actually moving. He wants to move to Tennessee. So I'm like, that's not even that far from us, really, in the big scheme of things.
Yeah,
much closer than the UK.
yeah, I would say. Like we can road trip to the to Tennessee, but you can't road trip to the UK unless you do a Muppet style montage. With that, you can get anywhere in the universe.
And it probably involves a flying ship.
No, we just have to, pad out the car so it's like a submarine.
Oh, all
right. We have not talked to Matt from Mongoose. We're open to having pretty much anybody on the show. We like to talk about gaming and what people are doing.
Absolutely.
So if you actually are connected to Matt from Mongoose, point him in our direction. And I will also begin stalking him out. I have a list of people to stalk. I got a couple people I'm trying to get that are really tough. Like I've been trying to get Matt, but like he's in hiding right now. I think he's in like the witness protection program for RPGs in much demand. So I don't see getting him anytime soon. And we're publishing. Yeah, that would be another great one too. I'm also I've reached out to the Ed Greenwood camp. I'm waiting to hear something back from them. I've reached out to Evil Hat Productions. I have heard something back from them. We're trying to figure something out over there.
Right.
I actually have to respond to another email.
That's from Carrie, right?
Yeah. So that's the other thing with these live chats. Like sometimes I end up with these long email chains in order to get somebody on.
So it's like Carrie will let us get to do something with Carrie. Then we'll work out somewhere later to get Fred.
No, she just handles she handles the PR stuff.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so we're probably gonna be able to get somebody on like sooner. just to talk general Evil Hat stuff. We'll talk probably Dresden, and then maybe a couple months from now we might be able to get actual Fred on, which would be really cool. Also, I'm trying to track down R.A. Salvatore. So I think I sent something to his camp, which again that one's going to be harder. Jim Butcher, like there's walls around him. I cannot send anything to Jim Butcher to say, hey, will you do a live
You
chat
must
with-"
install the siege.
So
Yeah.
For any of you that are Butcher fans like the rest of us, if you want to see him on our channel,
But that's the other thing, guys. Like the easiest thing to do if there's specific people you're interested in, like start tweeting at them. Like tweet at them, get like 50 of your friends to tweet at them, and let them know you would really like to see them on the Nerdarchy live chats. That'd be really cool.
absolutely.
And I'm also gonna just do random stuff where I just try and get people that I should have no business trying to get, but I don't care. I have no problem punching above my belt or punching above my weight class. So that's how we got David Harbour on. That was a total fluke. I still can't believe he came on. That was the first time I did a live chat, and I felt a little nervous beforehand.
Well, his tweet reply was pretty funny.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, he was like,
Now-
"What's your armor class?"
Did he respond to the tweet about the video?
He liked the piece of art Nelson did, because Nelson did a piece of art in conjunction with that as well, which you guys can check that out. Infinite Roleplay. He did Sheriff Hopper as a ranger. It was an awesome piece of art. I don't know if you guys seen that
Yeah,
or not.
absolutely.
So he always does really cool stuff. So we're talking about Magic the Gathering. I've never gotten to Magic either. I tried to play one or two games with that, and I was like, I'd rather throw these cards at people Gambit style.
We played a little bit of Magic.
Eric Hansen, any thoughts on doing an Alcadem? How do you say that?
Alcadem.
Alcadem, yeah. Alcadem 5e conversion. You know they use it wrong. There should be a U after that Q. That's what I know about English. 5e conversion for a few sessions or a video on that topic. I don't think any of us actually played that. It'd be a fun setting to play in, but I don't think that's one that any of us have ventured into.
Well,
I've read it. I liked it, but I haven't played a game in it. It's in Forgotten Realms somewhere. It is. So they don't mention it in the books out on Forgotten Realms.
No.
Oh, Jimmy McCoy. That's actually a very interesting way of doing things. I've had success finding players by making a Facebook page, tagging the local game shop, and posting that anyone within a general radius can join and I'll host. Meetup is also good. So that's actually a little out of the box. I have never thought about that, but yeah, creating Facebook local group or Facebook page like he did, and then kind of like attacking the local areas where you can kind of like pull from those people. So that's a brilliant idea, Jimmy. You the man. That's about his game. So this is why we need Kyle to sort through whether the guys are actually saying anything or
asking questions.
Yeah.
So Drush the Legend said he just found the channel, and he says awesome. So
Oh, cool.
great.
Welcome.
Welcome on board.
Yeah, thanks for hanging out with us in Ted's basement.
Now go watch about 1,800 videos, and you'll have seen all of Nerdarchy.
No, we're not up to 1,800 yet. We're still in the 1700s.
3,000 videos. 1 million.
Yeah.
Are we still in the 1700s?
Yeah.
I'm really
Slackers.
Well, we're coming up on the 3-year anniversary, right, of the YouTube channel. Well, of the business.
Yeah.
So next week.
May the 4th
Yeah.
will be Nerdarchy LLC, 3 years. Woohoo!
Woot.
Should we do? Maybe we should do something for that. I don't know. Is 3 years a thing you celebrate?
I don't know.
Yeah, 3's
5.
good.
Like I know if you had a girlfriend or a wife, they would definitely want to celebrate something for that. But if you're a dude, you're like, maybe 5 years.
Yeah.
Let's do 3. It's the internet, whatever.
Let's do 7. We'll do it.
3,
I like
5, and 7.
I like
Let's
seven.
just do the odds.
Basically, we're going to do the Garbe session, but then after 7,
We
we
have to
quit.
stop, right?
We quit. We move on to something else. We start a fishing channel. Something.
No. We'll have Nate be the lead, and we'll do it as a channel on knitting.
Oh, do you know?
I've knit before. Or wild foraging. I'll do a channel on that.
Nice.
Yeah.
It'll just be Nerdarchy running around the woods chewing on trees.
See, I was actually trying to go for something more humorous.
Oh no, I think the wild
Do you see
foraging.
his face?
I think the wild foraging would be pretty humorous. It'd be
I think
Nate
it would
yelling
be.
at us to stop eating that. It's poisonous.
Hey, you're gonna die.
Get your mouth off of that.
Right, you are banned from eating white mushrooms.
Eating mushrooms. Ugh.
They're delicious.
Don't give a hoot. Let's see. I know this is a dumb and off topic, but if you're going to a D&D gathering or something at your local shop, please take a shower and put on the deodorant. Well, that's not a question at all, but yeah, that is a good idea. In general, yeah, I don't care if you're going to a shop or not. Like, even if I'm going to Ted's house, I should probably shower and put some deodorant on.
Personal hygiene is one of those things that everyone should take part in.
Or maybe they're using odorant. What do we got? We got a wet dog and smelly trash.
Ogre musk.
Oh my god.
Well, yeah, it's one of those things. It's just, if just think, I'm going to try and impress these people with a good impression. What should I do? And
not stink.
And then do those things.
How can I really make sure they remember me? I know. I'll stink. I'll go smelling. I'll bring the con feel right to their game.
The 5-day con?
Yeah. Get the
fifth day con. Yeah.
It looks like we got some knitters in here. I believe Megan knits.
I did not mean to say anything against those that knit. I personally have no desire nor knowledge of how to do so, other than like knit one, purl two, without actually knowing what that means. But I know that Nate did.
Ted remembers me knitting in college. Yeah, like
we got.
And it kind of looks funny. I mean, I'm 6'2", so.
So I think Bushcraft was like put out there as a name. But Lavoie, cats knitting and puppy sitting. I don't know.
Cats and puppies? That's golden.
It is golden, but puppies, sitting on puppies, they kind of squirm a lot.
They don't mean sitting upon.
Are you sure? So Big Fishing Tackle, I think you guys should open an Amish woodworking channel. You already have the beers. The only problem with it is they already have the Viking lumberjacks from Dogmite, and they're making way cooler stuff. Like ours would literally be like, have you guys seen Step Brothers? The bunk beds from Step Brothers? That's what we would end up with, okay? And someone probably would die too.
And then we'd have to share our mustaches, right?
We'd be like, we'd be on YouTube going like, why did you let us do that? That was a horrible idea. Ted would have no fingers left. Nate would be missing an ear.
I'm actually quite proficient at that stuff.
Yeah, as long as it rounds out. I got one elf ear and then one that's normal. So I mean, like,
you can fix that.
Yeah,
I actually had wood shop in high school.
Yeah, whatever. It's far less funny when you say it that way. Yeah, explain it some more, Ted. Add to the humor.
You can still save it with a pun.
No, you can't. Oh my god. Oh no. I lost the chat. It's gone.
Poof.
Did
we disappear?
No. It's just me hitting buttons and generally having fat fingers. That kind of thing.
Amish YouTube channel would be problematic with our cameras and computers.
I just got a postcard.
Oh yeah?
Is that you or me? Oh.
That was me. That was me.
You just got a postcard, huh?
Me refining the chat. Yeah, well, I guess, that whole electricity thing.
Well, I mean, there's different levels. There's tiers to Amish.
No.
You just have to have.
I'm going to actually explain it so that we don't look like ignorant fools. There is different tiers to like how Amish interact with technology.
You just have each frame drawn by somebody, and then it's a flip book.
Taser. You just need someone to come and work all the technology for you in electricity, because somehow that makes it okay. Like they'll use vehicles and they'll hire a driver with a vehicle to drive them around. It's really weird. To me, it sounds like a workaround. At that point, you might as well just use the stuff. But I don't know. Why are you making faces?
No,
true.
Nothing. Nothing's true.
I like my idea.
Am I wrong?
You were partially wrong.
Which part? Because
some of them use technology.
Well. I'm talking about the ones that don't, but they use it through other people. That's really weird. That's like I'm Amish, but I don't use technology, but I have Ted push the buttons for me. That doesn't make any sense to me.
Thank God, a question. If you could only pick one race and class combo for the rest of 5e, what would each of you pick? Now, class combo, does that mean that I can use all the archetypes in the class at different times?
I would imagine so.
Because otherwise, that's really rough.
Just play a dwarf wizard.
Well, you're fine.
I would pick human because they're the most versatile of the races, and I would probably go with one of the spellcasters, either wizard or cleric, because they have a large amount of range to them. So I stick with cleric because You can go in a variety of different options, and cleric is where I tend to fall anyway.
I'm gonna go with Goliath Mystic.
Yeah.
I feel like Goliath is a tough race. I could deal with being those the rest of the time.
They're starting to weigh in. We got Half Elf Bard, we got Monk, Tabaxi Rogue.
Although that would hurt to not be Wizard every once in a while.
Well,
But I
you're
gotta go Mystic.
like a Mind Wizard. The same thing. Same difference. I believe they call it a town hall meeting. I feel like that was an answer to a question I missed.
So that would be you, Dwarf Wizard?
Probably, yeah.
And what race did you say?
Human.
Human.
And like I could be a Dugar, I could be a Hill Dwarf, I could be a Mountain Dwarf. So many ways to go with that.
Oh, we don't have stats.
There's somewhere. Yes, we do. It's just got kickstarted.
Oh,
The Races of the Deep.
yes.
It was like the goal was like 1,000, and they did like 50,000.
Well, yeah, they're doing stuff on the Underdark. No? that should
bad.
be an easy sell.
That was a good book.
Underdark.
I really wish I had the funds to make that happen.
What's that?
Back to back that one.
I thought it was. I actually thought it was going longer. I saw someone post about it, like 90 minutes left, and I clicked on it. It was already done because I was actually thinking about backing it.
Mhm.
But it's a pretty beefy book.
Oh yeah.
It's in hardback. I found the stretch goals a little weird. It was
Mhm.
like every 1,000 they throw another piece of art in there.
Right.
Must have been really good art.
The artwork that I saw on that was pretty darn good.
So they want to know if you ever play something besides a dwarf, and someone said that you are one. So
Well, he is. We know that. He's had implants in his legs to make him, taller.
Yeah, that procedure they used to do in Russia where they would lengthen all the limbs.
what was that like in Gattaca? They did that to
Uh,
make him fake as the.
the other guy.
the other guy,
Yeah.
But yes, Dave is a dwarf. He has played other races besides dwarf.
He just happened to play several in this 5th edition.
Well, I mean, he's only got one main PC.
Well, then he has the stone sorcerer, right?
I know.
On Twitch.
Yeah, on Twitch,
And,
I'm playing Eldorf.
Over at is that
But,
TV
like,
to me?
Yeah, TV to me. But see, the thing with that is, I played as Zabrak a couple weeks ago.
With the surliness of a dwarf,
yeah.
the dwarven, all the fun and cuddles of a dwarven pirate.
Yeah. But the reason I went Hill Dwarf with that is because the bonus hit point, and you already get a bonus hit point, so that makes it super tanky. It's a pretty fun game. I just wish it would start earlier. Canada, can you just please shift that side of the country over to the East Coast for me? That'd be great.
Just flip flop.
That would be great. That like wrecks me for the rest of the week. Gaming till 1 a.m. I'm so old now. What are your thoughts? I feel like
You don't want to know what Dave's thoughts are.
I'm just gonna vomit them on you.
Okay, you're gonna go. Okay, so I've got a DM question. How can I change a demon of destruction to a demon of domination? Our party is about to capture it inside a divine artifact in order to restore artifact's power.
Okay, we see the word destruction and domination. Yeah, that's how you do it.
There you go.
Dun, dun, dun. What was the question again?
Expert advice worth paying for. How can you change a demon of destruction to a demon of domination? So I don't know. I take demons as very static beings that don't change. So turning one from its path of what you consider destruction to domination, I would rather storyline in that our understanding of what we consider destruction was that actually its dominion over things. So that it was kind of a misinterpretation of what the demon was actually about, rather than actually changing its nature.
It was conquering as opposed to just laying waste.
Yeah. And that's how I would change it. By not actually changing the demon, changing what we understood the demon to be.
Well, I would also kind of challenge that with a question of my own. Why do you need to know? Like, it doesn't matter. Will it come up? Is irrelevant. Like, you can literally change things, and the players will never find out why it changed. And if that's the case, it's not even worth
The thought process.
putting your gray matter towards, in my opinion.
Well, the party's about to capture it inside of the divine artifact, so I'm assuming that they already kind of know about it and what it's supposedly about.
Maybe.
So if they know, like if you've set it up as all this information, well, all that information is by mortals. So
So put all 3 answers into a blender and hit frappe. There's your answer. No, you don't want a smoothie?
No, I don't like smoothies. I like
We're getting
Rocky
lots of information.
Road. I like
on
Rocky
Amish.
Roads.
That could be our next channel. We could just do a channel on the Amish. We'll be like Steve Irwin of the Amish. Crikey!
I'd rather have a channel on food, and you guys talk about how awesome
True
variety
Bark is.
Yeah, getting Ted to eat food he's never seen before. That could be a channel.
Oh my god.
Which sometimes gets confused with bondage channels while we strap you down to feed you.
That'd be hilarious.
What do you guys prefer? Don't give a hoot.
Every time you say that, I want to say don't pollute.
Go ahead. A character that is pretty gimped and weak, or a character that is very good at metagaming and powerful. Probably somewhere in between. Like,
Yes.
I'm not all that extreme. Like, I don't make super optimized characters. I just make characters that are fun for me to play. Like, my longest running character in Ted's game, he's a fighter wizard and doesn't do either particularly well. The only thing he does good is not get hit.
I'd say if you're going to make a gimp and weak character, you also kind of still want them to be a hero, because it's not heroic to go around with the poor me, I'm terrible at everything. They're going to have something they excel at, and then as the player, your job is how to make that an interesting growth narrative, how they figure out how to excel at what they're good at, and having that be heroic. I would say go for that rather than have a character that just kind of stinks.
I've seen this thread talked about online, and someone's like, "Yeah, I made an orc wizard with a 6 intelligence. It's awesome." I'm like, what is the point of that? How do you have that subnormal human or submental orc actually have the wherewithal to study and learn magic and say, I'm going to go out and do this? Like, I don't understand that mentality behind making that kind of character.
No, me neither.
Sorry, I mean, I'm not assuming you're looking for attention with a gimp character, but some people do. And I think that's the wrong person to play a gimp character in the first place, because they're looking for attention with a character that kind of stinks at everything.
Now, if you make that kind of thing and that you find fun and enjoyment, don't let me dissuade you in any way, shape, or form. You play what kind of characters that you enjoy. You run the kind of games that you want. There is no draw to that for me. Like, I don't think having negatives in your prime stat is enjoyable. That's just my personal.
Because naturally, people do like to do what they're successful at, because it's like a feedback loop where when you do something and you're good at it, you want to do it some more because either someone's praising you or you're succeeding at it and other things like that. But when you constantly fail at being a wizard because you're so like intellectually inferior to what the base apprentice needs to be before they can even be accepted into a wizard's college or school or something, you're looking at a character that would never continue to try and do that unless they had some kind of curse put on them or something like that.
So Connor Powers, how would you give a character a proper sending off if you're in a place where sending it off isn't really an option? One of my characters wants to leave, but he's stuck in a mega dungeon. So I don't know. When you put that out there to me, I'm like kind of thinking, well, an epic last stand, right? That's how I would do it. But what does the player want? Ask them. Like, how do they want him to go off? Like, people are asking questions like, is DD, blah, blah. Yep, he could be called, he could be called by a higher power to another plane. He could literally, like, someone can teleport in and teleport him out if you wanted to. But I think, to me, the most fun thing would be like an epic death.
Well, if you don't want the character to continue, you're looking to bring in somebody new, or the player's leaving the group, or whatever have you, a heroic stand, like, all right, there's a hallway, you guys are being charged from one side, and the guy's like, nope, I got this, you guys run, and you just give that character complete and utter narration on that scene of what happens. Don't roll dice.
Well, you could. However you want to do it, doesn't matter. You do it however you want to do it. It's fun for your game, whether it's narration, dice, or whatever. But give them an epic last stand if the player wants that. And how final do you want it to be? Is what it comes down to. Matt Lennington, I saw a YouTube channel, Shadversity, give you a shout out about 2 weeks ago, which was really awesome. We really appreciated that from Shad. will you have Shad on your channel live chat? I would absolutely love to have Shad on. And I've thought about it. I've thought about reaching out to him. I have to figure out reaching out to him. But that's one of the people that are kind of on my Amorpheus list. People I would like to try and get a hold of and talk to.
Hopefully it's an ever-growing list.
It is an ever-growing list. I'm like, ooh, they're cool. Or I start tracking. You know what happens too? I'll start trying to track down certain people. And then I encounter other people while I'm doing it. I'm like, oh, they'd be cool to talk to too. And they end up on the list as well. So it's good.
I regularly watch his content, so it was really, I had to go back and say, did he just say Nerdarchy? I think he did. And I had to go back and like listen to it again because
there was nothing to listen to. He literally showed a video and it was like us talking.
Well, he said when people say our name on the internet, it just goes like, what? Someone's talking about Nerdarchy and it's not us. What's going on? So it was the surprise of hearing somebody else say Nerdarchy.
Yeah, and like he acknowledged like the production values come up and stuff like that, and so yeah, that was super cool.
Absolutely.
All right, so we have from the Griffin 1, MW Griffin 1. So watching your Eberron transportation episode and your GM line 1 about teleportation issues, the GM was having with the player part 1. Okay, I thought we were going to get a question out of that. Here it is. Part 2 made me think that of where my game is headed, where they could end up with a flying ship in a world where no flying ship exists. So the question is, would this be a bad thing? That actually all just depends on your campaign. If it's fun to do, sure. Is it probably going to have unforeseen consequences that you didn't think about? Yes. Absolutely. It always does. Whatever it is, it's always going to impact your game in a way you didn't think of. Your players are going to do things you never conceived of them doing. And they're like, what can they possibly do with if I introduce a whale with a hood on their back? And next thing you know, they're doing things you never thought would happen with a wow. So, look, it's just going to happen. If you think it's fun, do it, and then you're going to just sort it out later.
In every campaign world that has ships that fly, someone had to be the first one. That's the way it works.
And it totally threw the paradigm of how everything works out of order. So they're probably going to throw the paradigm of everything out of order. But you might want to consider giving them an apparatus of Qualsh. It's a submarine that kind of is like a ship for the purposes of getting around fast. So it's kind of like gives you that fast travel feel without being able to go everywhere in the world. So, and you can always make it so that it kind of converts into an airship at some point.
Well, you could also you could stage it too. Like you do an airship and go, okay, for whatever reason, it can only travel so far, right? Whatever, because maybe there's a specific, where maybe they power it from this central location and it's got a certain range and they have to get there and be able to get back and in order to power it. And then maybe you could later on be like, all right, well, now I want them to go a little bit further. So you come up with a plot device that allows it to go range for even further.
So it's a longer battery life, or they build a second charging station further away. Now you've got you can double jump, so to speak.
Yeah, part of the adventure could be capturing the ley lines required for it, or whatever you want to do as the power source for it.
This whole thing could be your next 7 sessions of campaign arc are built solely around this airship and the ability to make it be bigger or go further.
Sorry, I'm just the chat. A little further down, they get a little crazy. Someone, here it is. James Meehan. What was the funniest character you ever played? I have an idea for Nate's. I don't know that I don't really play funny characters. I probably have the least amount of characters at the table anyway. Okay, I probably have one. I have an idea for you, but I'm not going to give you your idea. You can say your own, and do you have something?
Oh, absolutely. I could go with 1 or 2 places.
All right, so I'm going to go with the one where I totally screwed Ted over, and you guys are tired of hearing about this already, was Eldarius the Enchanter, who refused to leave the town and go on Ted's adventures, and just basically used charm person on a bunch of people in town to open up a brothel. So that ended up being kind of funny.
If you don't like charm in 5th edition, blame this guy.
Pretty much, I'm the reason.
Yeah, that was total 2nd edition rules where you failed your initial save on charm person. If it was based on your intelligence score, how soon you would get another saving throw, and the standard commoner would be like a month or two later.
Yeah. What do you got, Nate?
Okay, so I played a necromancer in Psycho's game.
Yeah, that's where I would go.
Yeah, and he was a bit crazy. He was the noble's son, and he was, often yelled at and other things. I think he might have
That
died as a
character
child, but
is
he doesn't know.
exactly why children shouldn't play with dead things.
So he liked to play with dead things, and he eventually, I guess he was kind of like a sorcerer before they had sorcerers, because he was a necromancer wizard. And what ended up happening was he made and stitched together his own dolls. But not like creepy dolls in horror films, but like winged, like he'll take the wings of the bat, the skeletal structure of some kind of mammal, and then put a rat head on it or something, and stitch it all together and give him like little leather armor and make him a sword, and that perched on his shoulder, and he talked to it all the time. And Nebuchadnezzar, for those people who actually got to talk to him long enough, he told them the real name. And I think his name was like Nelson or something like that. I don't actually remember.
He was making dolls before Nerdarchy Ryan.
Yeah. So he was the only one to survive Psycho's campaign, by the way. And he was chaotic neutral in the true sense of, from one moment to the other, he just didn't really apply. It was more like what Neb wanted to do rather than what he wanted to do as a person. So that kind of went to his like the craziness factor, and so he didn't. He really like if somebody came in and be like, "I'm a paladin and you're screwing stuff up and you're being evil," I'd be like, "I'm just playing with my friends." And he would not like a person who says he can't have his friends anymore. So, but yeah, I could probably make him a 5th edition. I'm excited to make him a 5th edition actually. But that's my guy, crazy necromancer talking to Neb all the time.
So I've made a couple of silly characters in editions past. I had a jester of sorts, and I had a drunk of one thing or another. He was always concerned about having a flagon of mead with him at some point in time. But I think the most amusing character that I've ever played was actually Freckle Gurglop, and that was in one of Dave's one shots. And he was a gnome illusionist. I gave him a funny voice, and it was a game that we wound up encountering a mushroom that could talk, because it was animated by the chaos storms that we were kind of chasing. So I was like, oh well, this is great. I'm going to teach this thing to sing, because he had, I think, the entertainer background, and he had his own little, because it was a gnome, he had a little creature as a pet. So I had this little guy who was silly and funny, and I loved him. I'd actually like to pull him out and actually, play some more sessions with him.
And he's dead.
He died.
No, he's not dead.
I'm like, when did you kill Freckle?
Make them love them, then kill them.
That was Dave's philosophy for a long time.
So it is now 5 minutes past. We are right around the hour mark. We started a little bit late. So we're going to wrap it up, but we'll be back next week with the whole crew, and I will be back Monday for Satine Phoenix.
Actually, we will not be all back next week.
Well, the poor people will be here.
Oh, jeez.
Does that mean
So?
Yeah.
All right.
Next week, I will not be in attendance.
It'll be Kyle and Scott Garbe.
Yeah, they will be there.
Oh, maybe we can get Scott to come in and fill in for Ted.
That would be great.
I will be at Steampunk World's Fair. So you will not have my illustrious presence next week.
Yeah, but I think we're going to try and get Scott Garbe to fill in for Ted. That would be way cool, if he's not busy. So I know he's got kids graduating and parties and stuff happening. We got to figure out when that is. Although with a white panel van, you can accomplish a lot of things.
Oh, I think it is graduation week next week.
Yeah, I'm not sure, but we'll find out. But with that, guys, until next time,
Stay nerdy.
Oh, no, it's a week after that.